I'll let you know when we're up.
Perfect. Thanks, Charlotte.
I'll let you know when we're up. Go.
Perfect. Thanks, Charlotte. Alrighty, so we are going to get started. I believe we are live, or at least I see it here on my screen. So welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon to celebrate our graduates for a pre-commencement ceremony, an inaugural pre-commencement ceremony, which we have deemed to be named just the CSDI graduation celebration. And so we thank you for joining us. And so I'll just start with a few housekeeping things to share with folks that are in the Zoom space with us, as well as for those of you who may be joining us on live on YouTube. And so we invite you to please keep your cameras on as much as you feel comfortable. But we did want to let everyone know that we are streaming this live on our YouTube channel. And that if you don't want to be seen on the screen here, please feel free to go ahead and turn your cameras off. But we do ask that you keep your microphones muted throughout the presentation today, because we do have some pretty exciting opportunities where you will be able to unmute yourselves and give a round of applause and a big special congratulations to the graduates that we will be honoring this afternoon. And so with that, I will quickly just introduce myself. My name is Tarsha Moore, and I serve as the Assistant Director of here in our Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion, which we are also affectionately known as the CSDI. And I also would like to take just a brief moment to thank all of our campus partners who have played a huge role in helping build the foundation for all of our graduation celebrations, including this inaugural celebration that we are hosting today. It is because of them that we are able to expand these opportunities to honor and celebrate the success of the students that often make our campus a rich and diverse space for everyone that engages on our campus. And so thank you so much to all of the faculty, staff, and especially our students and the leadership of our administration for helping build the foundation for us to get to this point. And I also would like to say thank you to the CSDI staff who continue to work tirelessly to coordinate things behind the scenes so that we can make sure that these graduation celebrations are offered on a semi-annual basis. We love to do this, and we love to celebrate with you all as individuals who are going to go out and shape a changing world, to go out to be the thought leaders and the change agents of tomorrow. And so thank you to the team here in CSDI for helping to make this possible for us today. Thank you. And now it is an honor for me to officially welcome you to our inaugural CSDI celebration. This is the first celebration of this nature for us in our office. And we are so grateful that you all have chosen us to help celebrate this amazing moment with you all, as you will be crossing the stage next week officially as SIUE graduates. And so it is because of the foundation that was built prior to this that the members of our staff and CSDI recognize that there are multiple layers and intersections between our identities that aren't currently reflected in our graduation celebrations. And so we decided to offer this as a fifth graduation to really have an opportunity to highlight those intersections of identities and to really celebrate all of our historically marginalized communities that are represented here at SIUE. And so we hope that you will continue on with this transition with us even after you graduate. We hope that you will come back and help us celebrate with future graduates as well. And so we just wanted to give a little bit of that background in terms of how this inaugural celebration came to be. At this time, I also want to In addition to celebrating the success of our graduates, we also recognize that this has been a challenging and unique year for you all to be reaching such a huge milestone in your lives. We recognize your resilience. Because you literally are accomplishing your goals in a time where none of us expected to be in a global pandemic right now, which we know it to be COVID-19. And so we thank you for your resilience and your persistence as you are walking across the stage and making a lot of your family members and extended family and friends so very proud of you. We are so very proud of you. And we want you to know and be sure that this accomplishment is something that is a huge feat for this unique graduating class. And so thank you so much. A lot of you all were invited to share messages of thanks for your family and extended family and individuals just within your village of support. And those messages can be found in our program booklet, which my colleague will be sharing in the chat here soon. And it is also within that booklet that you can find the bios and the photos that you all have submitted to share that with your family and extended family as well. And so we hope that you will take us up on that opportunity to make sure that you have that as a memory for this momentous occasion. And so just quickly here, I want to acknowledge our amazing leadership that has always been consistent and committed to supporting the cultural pre-commencement ceremonies such as this. And so I'm going to read a list of names, and if you are looking at the screen, you may see them give us a quick wave, but we just want to thank them really quickly for their ongoing commitment to you all as graduates and the students that will come behind you. And so with that, we would like to thank our system president, Dr. Dan Mahoney, who couldn't be with us today because he is continuing to champion and support initiatives like this, even in this very moment. So thank you so much to President Mahoney. We do have our very own Chancellor here, Chancellor Pembroke, who we'll be hearing from in just a little bit. We have Dr. Jessica Harris, who is our inaugural Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. We have Dr. Jeffrey Waple, who serves as our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. We have Dr. Morris Taylor, who is our Vice Chancellor for Administration. We also have Denise Cobb, Dr. Denise Cobb, who serves as our Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. We have Rachel Stack, who is the CEO of our SIUE Foundation and the Vice Chancellor for University Advancement. We have Miriam Rachia, our Associate Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, as well as Kara Shustran, our Dean of Students. And then a host of deans that also continue to support us, including Dr. Kevin Leonard, who is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Jim Carrickle, who is the Dean of the College of Engineering, as well as Dr. Tim Schoenecker, who is the Dean of the School of Business. And so we continue to say thank you to all of the SIUE administration for continuing to support these efforts. It means a lot to our students. It means a lot to us as faculty and staff to be able to share in this moment with our students. So thank you for your presence. Thank you for your commitment and your time. And so usually at this time, we would hear from our system president, but unfortunately he couldn't make it today. But we do have our very own chancellor here. And so I am going to pass him the floor, Dr. Randy Pembroke. Dr. Pembroke became our SIUE Chancellor in August of 2016. That is actually also the same time that I started as a professional staff member here. And so we share that in common, Dr. Pembroke and I, which is really special. He's also a fellow SIUE alum. And so you will be joining him and a host of others on this call, and a huge amount of support in the Alumni Foundation as you go on to leave your legacy and your footprint on the world. And so we are excited to hear some words of encouragement and inspiration from Dr. Pembroke. And so at this time, I am going to pass him the floor.
Well, thank you, Tarsha, for that kind introduction. I also feel like I always need to thank Tarsha because Tarsha was on the search committee when I came here. So I've never asked her how she voted on that search committee. But anyway, thank you, Tarsha, for your leadership. It's great to have you here. And I did want to underscore something she said that President Mahoney, our system president, he was on a board of trustees call that went up until 1:30 or 2. So I think he's somewhere between Carbondale and Edwardsville at the moment, but I'm sure he's channeling good thoughts our way. Let me say welcome to all of our graduates, and not only to the graduates, but family members and friends of our graduates who are joining us today. It's just wonderful to have you on with us. I can't tell you how excited I am. I just really love new traditions. And so, as you heard, this is the very first Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion graduation celebration. So 50 years from now, when you come back as golden graduates, you can talk about, I was there at the very first, right? And you can ask how things are going with celebrations at that point. Let me just say that it is a thrill that for us that you're graduating. We love celebrating with you in this endeavor. As Tarsha said, I'm an SIUE alum. You're joining about 115,000 other people as SIUE alums. That number obviously continues to grow. And so for me, SIUE changed my life. It was a place that just provided all kinds of experiences to think about new ideas, to reflect on who I am, what I was wanting to do with my life. I hope SIUE has challenged you in that way. I also want to say thank you for the last 14, 15 months in particular. What an amazing challenge it's been. Boy, we've gotten good with technology, haven't we? Learning how to Zoom and everything. And so to see just how we've overcome, how we've had to pivot, how we've persevered in spite of circumstances, I just couldn't be prouder of our students, our faculty and staff. And so I look forward to commencement. I hope you're not thinking about this event as commencement. I hope you're actually going to go to commencement. This is just a warm-up act, and you get to celebrate a little bit to get ready for commencement. So thank you for hanging in there during all of the COVID challenges. I also want to say thank you. The last year has been a very difficult challenge as it relates to unrest in our communities in our country. And so thank you for hanging in there on that. We have tried to create programming and support, particularly for our BIPOC communities. And so I hope that you have felt supported by that. One of the things that I'm just so pleased about, one of the changes that we made, one of the ways we've tried to support individuals this year is through some of the organizational changes. And so you heard about Vice Chancellor Jessica Harris. One of the things that happened in that Board of Trustees meeting today is that she was officially approved. So she is absolutely the Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. We don't have to say pending board approval anymore. So that's good. And I know Jessica has worked so hard. I know she has reached out to the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion and making that a part of how she thinks of the ways that we support our students. So thank you. I also want to say that President Mahoney has been so dedicated to the concept of diversity. And so we also approved a vice president at the system level for anti-racism today. And that's exciting. I hope that you've been part of the conversations of understanding this year. That was something that he implemented. And I hope you've been following the anti-racism task force. We have an official website, and you can keep track of all 78 of the recommendations and the progress that we're making. So let me just wrap up and say that you changed SIUE by being here. The lives of your friends, classmates, they'll think of you time and time again in the years ahead. If you come back, faculty and staff will be so pleased to see you and hear about what's going on in your life. So we look forward to you doing that. And as I've said at every one of these celebrations, because I know how crazy this time of year is, you got 50 things that you're trying to process, and that's not even counting like final exams and papers and things, right? So what I would encourage you to do is to just pause, think about how amazing this is, just kind of take some pride in the fact that you are graduating in this amazing accomplishment. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. I want to congratulate you on this amazing event, this amazing moment. Stop and smell the roses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Pembroke, for those amazing words. I love that quote, stop and smell the roses. And I'm just excited that we are able to give our students some virtual flowers while they are still here with us. And so we hope that you will take them and stop and smell them for a second and just sink into this moment. And so for that, Chancellor Pembroke, we thank you. And so at this time, I'm actually going to pass it over to our very own director here in the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion, who will come and give our keynote address for the evening. And so soon to be Dr. Lindy Wagner, I will be passing the floor to her, and she will be sharing some words of inspiration and encouragement with you as you embark upon this new chapter in your lives. And so we thank her for being a very innovative a leader and a fierce leader for our space and championing this cause with this inaugural celebration. And so with that, Lindy, the floor is yours.
Tarsha, you're gonna make me cry before I get started. Thank you for that. And good afternoon to you. This is a little new for me. I'm usually the one that's helping ensure that the program runs smoothly from speaker to speaker, but this time I do have the honor of speaking with you as a person who knows a little bit about being a student at this time, and also a little bit about being a person who has an identity that isn't quite understood all the time, being multiracial. Because of my empathy for those with similar or related experience, I'm really grateful for this chance to share with you. And I'll get more to that in just a minute. But first, as our staff was preparing for the ceremony, for this event, as Tarsha mentioned earlier, we had a lot to discuss because for starters, this celebration is the first of its kind, as our Chancellor also mentioned. And that means it could change, it could be adapted. We don't know exactly what will be happening from this celebration forward, but we're excited to have this one now. And as we were planning for the other pre-commencement graduation celebrations that are sponsored by our office, as well as the other ones held across campus, we recognize that there may be students who don't necessarily identify with those. They may not identify as Latinx, Black, LGBTQIA, non-traditional, international, and the list goes on. But they might still identify as someone who might be part of a historically underrepresented population at a predominantly white institution, or PWI, like SIOE. On top of that, we also considered there may be students who do identify within those groups, but still may not feel a sense of connection to the specific identity's graduation celebration. We also considered there may be those of biracial, multiracial, or mixed race backgrounds who feel the constant push and pull of the varied identities they hold, and who, wanting to resist the ever-present idea of choosing one of your identities to hold at a time, as perhaps one of the other graduation celebrations would ask, that may have wanted another opportunity to celebrate. So, in alignment with the values of our office, we wanted to ensure that students feel a sense of belonging. And most importantly, that you leave our institution knowing that you were intentionally considered in this moment, this important moment, this celebratory moment. Which brings us to this space of celebration where we can honor your accomplishment. So first, I want to say welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting your friends and family, and thank you for being in this space with us. I may not know each of you personally, and I may not have ever met some of you even, but here is what I already know to be true of you. You have not only survived the sometimes treacherous path that a college and university lays before you, but you've survived, as many have noted, some extraordinary circumstances in the last year. And to honor that, I want to share a little of my journey on the paths I've taken to graduation to see if anything might ring a little true for you on your journey. To begin, if you're a first-generation college student or the first to have a bachelor's degree in your family, you had to navigate the landscape of this institution without having a roadmap. And if you're the first in your family to receive both a bachelor's and master's degree, then you had to do that twice. I know that experience, not at SIUE specifically, but I am a first-generation college student. And I remember stumbling through changing my major 4 times in my undergraduate degree, stumbling by having to take 5 years to graduate because my advisor made a mistake, and I didn't know the difference until I was completing a degree audit my first senior year and realized I didn't have enough upper division courses to walk across the stage. Then stumbling after a 5th year in undergrad and having to choose to go for a master's degree because I still quite wasn't sure what I wanted to do after undergrad. And I'd heard that getting your master's degree would help you in the long run. And then even after that, I stumbled in grad school and changed my program my first semester. So I really was a stumbling, hoping for the best, seeing where the path took me, first generation college student. And along the way, there were those that made the journey much harder, but there were also many who made it easier. And while I did have struggles, I know that I take those different aspects of the journey and it builds my empathy for others on similar paths. So with that empathy in mind, I hope many here at SIUE have helped make the path easier for you, that someone advised you in a truly helpful way or directed you to a class or a lecture or a program that helped you confirm your major was just right for you, or that someone reached out to build a true friendship with you that will last a real lifetime. For those of you who may be first generation college students, I hope the journey has been fruitful and the stumbling turned to walking, and the walking has turned into a run, and you are racing towards the finish line, that stage where your degree will be conferred. I hope that being the first in your family won't be the last. Now, on top of being a first generation college student, something I know about all of you for sure is that you have all most definitely survived to this point, a global pandemic. And this pandemic has changed the face of your college education and probably your world as you know it. In the last year, as many again have noted, and will continue to emphasize after your graduation, you had to go from in-person classes, regularly seeing friends and maybe family, to being in isolation. Maybe you had a roommate or maybe you lived with your family, but certainly at times you felt isolated or disconnected. I know I did. School from your bedroom, coffee table, or kitchen table is not what you originally signed up for. I, like you, am a student. I am currently, in addition to my full-time job, a full-time student in a doctoral program, and I struggled with being a student in this environment. It was hard to feel connected to my writing and deadlines, and somehow not being able to just stop by and see my advisor to ask a quick question made it much harder to ask any questions at all. I found myself getting discouraged and wondering if I would even make it to the next deadline. Eventually, while it was difficult, I eventually got a few things done here and there, caught up a little bit, and finally made some more significant progress on my degree. Now, I still have some things to do before I can be a doctor, but I know it will happen, and I will have this story to tell others in the future, just as you all will always have the stories to tell about how you, through great odds working from home, trying to learn in a variety of environments, all while trying to keep your very health intact, persevered and persisted to graduation. You have made it to the 32% of the US population to have a bachelor's degree. And if you're receiving a master's or doctorate, you're a part of the 13% who have. So you have achieved something great. Finally, the last thing I know a little bit about, which may also be you, is this. I am part of an identity group that not everyone understands. And if there's one thing we have seen this year in this country, it's pain, sadness, and hate about a variety of identity groups, because identity groups don't understand one another and sometimes aren't taking the time to connect, to learn and dialogue across those differences. So I want to say, I see you. I see you. I see your accomplishments. I identify as multiracial, but that has not been necessarily a long road of people telling me all the greatest things. It's actually been a long road of people telling me I was sometimes too much of one thing, not enough of another, or just telling me I simply couldn't claim who I knew I was. On top of that, I've heard my fair share of comments, slurs, slights, and indignities. Admittedly, there were times that those got the best of me, And I really didn't want to self-identify for anyone in any context in any way. I also know that I have some privilege in my identity as well. Some say I'm read differently in different crowds, or I am racially ambiguous, as if that's a good thing, or that I pass as white, so what's my problem? All of this to say, I never quite felt I belonged. Never quite felt I was truly part of anything. And that sense of connection really didn't take root until I started taking my work more seriously in equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that's what brings me to you. I know my experience, and I know if you have any that are similar, then you have faced trials, tribulations, loss, and some moment that made you want to scream, give up, cry, or like I sometimes do, fight harder to prove someone I am greater than they think I am. No matter the trial, no matter the tribulation, you're here. I have fought in the past like you have today to make a place for myself and reach the end point of the journey. And maybe that journey is just the end for now, but you've done it and you have reached graduation. I know for me, that first degree felt remarkable. My entire family showed up to watch me walk that stage. Mom, dad, siblings, grandfather, aunties, uncles, cousins. My accomplishment was for everyone. I was so proud. And then I did it again, and they all showed right back up. So I know that when I do finally become doctor, they'll be there yet again. So in this moment, I want to be a part of your cheering section. I want to be a part of the special day that I'm sure is a proud moment for all that have been a part of it. And most importantly, for you. I want you to be proud of you. In the end, despite adversity, despite a pandemic, despite any hurdles you have overcome on this campus, you are here. You belong among those who have also worked to attain a degree. You belong with us here in this moment. You belong among friends, family, and future colleagues because you have done what not everyone can or will do in their lifetime. You are graduating. And while each of our journeys are different and we each experience this moment differently, let me say that I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it with you today, letting you know that you are amazing. I want to close with this. I know that my journey was not always perfect, but I am grateful for the people I have met along the way. And even though I didn't know what I was doing then as a student and sometimes still don't really now, I know that I have the potential to do great things and impact others. And I hope that you too see that greatness inside of yourself. If me, a person who really didn't know what she was doing in college, not once, but twice, and sometimes even the third time, can be sharing here with you, then I know that you will take this degree you've earned and do all that you want with it. Thank you again for the time with you. And I want to leave you with this final quote from one of my favorites, Michelle Obama. You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all of the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own. So please go be courageous, be hopeful, and most of all, be you.
Thank you so much, Lindy, for those beautiful words. Graduates, we hope that you receive that message with a warm heart. And really, I appreciate you saying that because graduates, the experiences that you have brought to our campus has been rich and contagious for us as well. And we promise to continue to build upon the experiences that you've trusted us with up until this time and continue to make our campus better and more just everything we want to be and need to be for students to come. And so thank you so much, Lindy, for those words of inspiration. And so at this time, we are actually going to get to one of the most exciting parts of the evening, where we get to recognize each graduate individually. We are excited to recognize you all individually. And as we read your names, we will be sharing a PowerPoint presentation, which you see coming up on the screen now. And we ask that all participants please remain on mute at this time until we have read all of the names. And it will be a moment where we will ask for everyone, as much as you feel comfortable, to unmute yourselves and come on camera so that we can celebrate our graduates and cheer them on with a lot of applause, and make a real huge round of noise for them as we really push them into this next exciting chapter into their lives. And so with that, we will go ahead and get started. We also, before we get started, I apologize. We also want to acknowledge, and we hope that each graduate has had an opportunity to stop by our office to pick up your pre-commencement cord, and we hope that you will wear those cords at your respective official commencement ceremonies next week. And so if you haven't, please feel free to continue to come to our office and pick those things up. And at this time, we will begin by recognizing all of our graduates receiving their bachelor's degrees, and then we will matriculate on into the folks who are receiving their graduate degrees. First up, we have Anaya Alok receiving a Bachelor of Science degree with a major in psychology and a minor in chemistry. We have Taylor Nicole Bobzine receiving a bachelor's degree in social work and a minor in psychology. I apologize, don't want to leave that out. We also have Lyric J. Boone receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree with a major in computer science and a minor in Spanish. We have Angela Ashley Camicho receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree in computer science. We have Brittany Y. Foreign receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in civil engineering. Rose Nguyen receiving a Bachelor of Science degree, majoring in mechanics and robotics engineering with a minor also in mathematical studies. Akit Kamlesh, I apologize, Patel, receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree in finance. Akendra Razali, receiving a Bachelor of Arts degree with a major in international studies and a minor in mass communications. And at this time, we will also like to congratulate the following graduate students for receiving their various graduate degrees. First up, we have Catherine Atino Awita receiving a Master of Social Work. We have Devon Butler receiving a Master's of Science in Kinesiology with a specialization in exercise physiology. We also have Haruka Kawata receiving a Master's of Arts degree in Art Therapy and Counseling. We have Lindsay Perry receiving a Master of Science degree in Education with the specialization in College Student Personnel Administration. And last but certainly not least, we have Hannah Rose Sieferman receiving a Master's of Science in Public Health, majoring in public health, but also minoring in psychology. Congratulations to all of the graduates. And so at this time, as much as you feel comfortable, we invite you to unmute yourselves. Please come on camera for a brief moment and help give a round of applause to all of our graduates.
Woo!
We are so
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for making our campus amazing with your presence. Thank you so much for allowing us to celebrate in this moment with you. Feel free to also congratulate students within the chat box as well. We are so very proud of you. We continue to be impressed with your leadership on our campus, and as you go out and expand those leadership skills to go out and shape a changing world. We are so very proud of you. Thank you all so much for participating this afternoon in our inaugural CSDI celebration. And at this time, as you continue to ponder about the next chapter in your life, and you are continue to get excited, we want to remind you that you are joining a very amazing group of alumni that have come, and you are standing on their shoulders as SIUE alum as well. And so we want to invite a member of our SIUE Alumni Foundation to come and share a few words with you about how you can stay engaged, even now that you will be SIUE graduates. We want to hear about your success. We want you to come back and share that success with us, and help us share it with future students. And so at this time, we invite Millie Clark, who is a part of the graduating class of 2017, to share some thoughts with you. And so at this time, Millie, if you would, we welcome you to take the floor.
Thank you, Tarsha. Good evening, everyone. I'm Millie Clark. Like she says, I'm an active member of the SIUE Alumni Association board. I love it. It's a great group of people to work with. But as of now, right now, I am extremely proud of the job that you have done as graduates. You've come so far and you're finishing what you've started, especially during the time as such, like the Chancellor said, these times have been trying with the pandemic and all the adversity that you have endured throughout this time in these past years. I'm proud of you. You've overcome all those obstacles and you deserve all the praise for those major accomplishments, and I congratulate you. The campaign participants, the senior campaign participants, if you still haven't gotten your philanthropy cord, now's the time. You don't have to wait any longer. We will post the link in the chat box for everyone. So after we are finished or at your leisure time, you can go ahead and open up that link and you can join the senior campaign participants. That your generous gift and your donations, they go to help the scholarship funding for the future SIUE Cougars. Go Cougars. That's a wonderful idea to do. And don't forget, there's still time to do that. After you graduate, you are an automatic member of the SIUE Alumni Association, and we are here to help you. You have free access to special alumni discounts nationwide and the webinars for continued learning. We have SIUE Alumni Perks app, and that will also be posted in the chat window. And we have the SIUE newest learning consortium. That website will also be posted. Feel free to open up those links and explore and join. The SIUE, the perks, they really are beneficial. You can download the app and you can use it anywhere on the go. Wherever you are, you can type in, let's say, restaurants, and it'll pop up all the restaurants in the area that you're standing in, and you can see all the perks and the discounts that you can have and you can apply for. I do believe they even have Grubhub. There's just so many things. You should try that and go out and explore that. Something great to do. We would like for you to connect with us at our events and our programs. Right now, we are doing virtual because of the pandemic, but we will be on campus and you should come out and see us for the homecoming this year, September 24th and 25th. You should come out and have a great time with us. So I want you to stay connected with us. We use several platforms. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Like, share, comment, post your favorite SIUE pictures. We do it all the time, and it's a wonderful way to still stay connected. We want you to help us expand our reach as we continue creating new alumni networks and chapters. We have the Chicago chapter, as well as the newest St. Louis Young Professionals Network and the Springfield chapter. I'm excited to attend some of the newest Young Professionals in St. Louis Network chapter. I haven't attended anything yet, but I'm ready and looking forward to see what they are doing right now. These chapters and networks can be created on geographic location, major, your special interests, and shared identity. So don't think you're the only one We have chapters and networks to fit everyone's needs. We'd like for you to reach out to us if you'd like to learn more about creating a new network or a new chapter. Because remember, as Chancellor said, you are in a family of over 115 alumni. So you're not alone. You have a lot of connections and a lot of people to stay connected to. We have that chapter information is in the chat box now. Above all, we want to say we would like for you to stay connected with each other and with SIUE. No matter where your next chapter in your life takes you, you're always, always, always going to be a cougar for life. We're so honored and proud to be in the same company with all of you as SIUE alumni. So from me and on behalf of the SIUE Alumni Association Board, congratulations, and here's to you, class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millie, for coming and sharing those amazing resources with our graduates. Thank you so much. And finally, as we come to a close, we would like to hear some closing remarks from our inaugural Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, Dr. Jessica Harris. Dr. Harris became our Vice Chancellor for Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion on March 1st and has been working tirelessly to continue to build upon the efforts of equity, diversity, and inclusion on our campus. And as the Chancellor mentioned, she was officially voted in today. And so we are excited to have her as a part of our leadership. And at this time, we would like to welcome her to the floor to give some parting words of inspiration as we close out the event this evening. And so with that, Dr. Harris.
Thank you, Tarsha. And it's just been a pleasure to be here with you this evening, particularly for this inaugural very first CSDI graduation. And, I'd like to, take a moment to thank you, Lindy, and Tarsha, and the entire staff at the Center for Student Diversity and Inclusion, for your foresight and for demonstrating what it really means to prioritize inclusion and to facilitate a sense of belonging for students, and recognizing that a celebration such as this was needed. And certainly, Lindy, in your very inspirational message, you articulated that incredibly well. So thank you for your leadership and to the staff of CSDI. But to the graduates, this moment is just to celebrate you, your resilience, during what has certainly been a very challenging year, and to celebrate your determination to push through it all, to attain your degrees, to keep your eyes on the prize and move forward. But today is also an opportunity to recognize not just your achievements and impending graduation from SIUE, but to acknowledge your village of supporters, the faculty, staff, and family members and friends who have supported you through the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of your journeys. So just know that in this moment, I am proud of you, and we all are certainly so very proud of each and every one of you. Your lived experiences and the lessons that you've learned, not only as a student at SIUE, but beyond, position you very well to support and empower others. And so you have an opportunity now as you enter into the professional realm and, to really think through ways that you might stand as role models and potential mentors for so many students who are still here at SIUE and those to come. So, they need you. And I ask that you don't forget about them, those who are coming along after you as you transition to what I know will be very exciting new chapters of your lives. Know that I believe in each of you, the folks here, in this virtual setting, certainly those who could not be here or believe in you. We're thrilled for you. And we wish you nothing but all the best that life has to offer. And certainly look forward to hearing about all of the great things that you will do to shape a changing world. So congratulations. And thank you for being here to participate in the celebration of your greatness and to celebrate you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris, for those closing remarks. Thank you so much to all of our speakers this evening. for sharing your messages of wisdom and inspiration. And I hope that for all of you graduates that you receive those messages. And thank you so much to you for sharing, allowing us to share in this moment to celebrate you and to uplift you as you write this next chapter in your lives. And so thank you to all of the various supporters within your extended villages. Thank you for your resilience and helping our students get to this amazing place in their lives and accomplishing these amazing things. And so with that, we hope that you will continue to take care of yourselves, be excited for next week, which is our official commencement ceremonies. We will be there as well, just as excited as we are this evening to celebrate you, to continue rooting for your success as you go out and be champions for SIUE. So thank you so much. Take care and be